Yo, what's going on? Took such a solid trade today. I was unfortunately on a 9-day losing streak. I've been taking a lot of really long losing streaks throughout the months, just from taking poor setups. But my risk management has been on point, and this single trade took back my whole losing streak and brought my account back into profit. We secured a 4.5 R on this trade, taking the S&P long out of this fresh 2-hour demand zone that formed pre-market. All right, let's get into the live trade. This trade took almost 90 minutes, so I'm going to show you the entry real time, but the rest of the trade I'm going to speed up. But here we are. We already bounced off that 2-hour demand up around 5,870. You guys can see that bounce there after aggressive sell-off into that zone. Here's the zone. That's where it was. And I was just looking for a pullback to go long. I like my pullbacks to be pretty sharp, very fast and aggressive because that attracts the most market participants and that's how we get trapped orders. So we started to get a pretty aggressive sell off right there. We popped down pretty quickly and now I was just looking for confirmation on the order flow to go long. So I saw a trap seller on the order flow and I was just ready for them to be underwater for me to go long. There I am, right there, 6 contracts long, for a stop loss of 150 on the day if I were to lose this trade, and it instantly worked in my favor. That seller was trapped and I was aiming for a couple different targets. First one was at the start of that significant sell-off during the early morning. All right, so speeding this way up, man, this trade took forever. I was already break even because I just didn't like the action, and we were up almost a 2R. News was coming out at 10 a.m. right there. We managed to pop up on news pretty significantly, and the trade was looking good at this point. It was just really slow. Thankfully, news went in my direction. News has been coming out every important trading day, and that's kind of annoying because it's kind of a gamble when you're holding a trade into news, and of course it's at like 10:30, important times. So took off 4 contracts right there, above the high, breaking the pre-market high, to secure 65% of my position, and that was probably around 3R on the first sell. Actually, sorry, that was much more than 3R. That was probably a 4.2R, 4.3R. So yeah, moving really slow, but still chopping in my direction. Trade was looking good. We were up probably a 5R at this point. I was just looking for a move all the way up into the supply zone way above. There I am, all out of my trade right there as we started to make lower highs. This was a very aggressive sell-off, kind of confirming that lower high. Like I'll show you, we did end up just rallying higher, but I don't want to get too greedy. I already kind of waited and held this trade all the way up from this morning. Huge move. Did a great job holding my winners, and yeah, super solid trade. Here was the order flow confirmation for this trade. Pretty textbook, bounce from demand. We sold off really heavily in the early AM into that fresh 2-hour demand zone, which I marked with this green line. Saw a little bit of a trap seller, pretty small amount of orders, but a lot of volume down low. And we bounced up pretty quickly from that demand zone. And here I started to look for an entry on a pullback. We got that pullback. It wasn't very deep. I wish it pulled back a little deeper, but I saw a trapped order on the order flow right here. Some large selling, aggressive market selling that didn't end up following through. We actually trapped this seller and we bounced up after that aggressive seller entered the market. Once we bounced up, I went long here with this yellow line and rode the trade up all the way for over an hour and for almost a 5R. All right, time is 12:20. Volume has already died out around my first exit around 10:15. Just a slow grind higher up towards this supply zone. This is a major 4-hour supply zone, so you want to be very careful of taking longs in this area. But yeah, it was a great trade, and obviously we broke this pre-market high. That was my real final target. I didn't hold until that target because my R was already amazing, and yeah, my entry was low, and it was a great trade, so I didn't want to get too greedy. And volume was dying out. Anyways, hope you guys traded well, and stay tuned for some more live trades on the funded account. Peace out.